Welcome back to The Watch, and I want to talk a little bit about the whole MrBeast situation. I've already been discussing it on the Night's Watch live streams that we're doing weekly on the channel. It's Thursday 10 a.m. for me in Australia, which would mean it's Wednesday evening sometime for you guys in the US. But that's weekly, so hope to see you there. We get to interact with you guys, chat about all the crazy stuff that's happening. But more stuff has come out with the MrBeast, and I want to do a dedicated video on the subject. In case there are some of you coming to this subject fresh without knowing some of the background, let me quickly, to the best of my ability, try and summarize some of the controversy that's happening, and then I'll get to elaborate and share further thoughts on it. So there's been accusations coming out that MrBeast is not been operating above board, so to speak. There has been some serious allegations, concerns coming out about him rigging certain competitions, which he might not necessarily fall under legal, because if you're creating a competition type program on a network, there are some pretty strict guidelines you have to follow to make the competitions fair and not be rigged. Because it's for YouTube, the question is that even applicable? Even if it's not applicable, it seems dodgy. And he legitimately has come in and bribed people, offering them money to leave a competition, to rig a competition so someone else will win. There are certain types of lotteries that he has also done on live streams where if someone buys a shirt in the next number of minutes, you're in the draw of winning certain amounts of money. That potentially might be illegal, if not illegal, very dodgy, and this is promoting gambling to his audience, which is a young audience. These are kids. There's evidence of him forging his own signature, that if you buy, a MrBeast shirt, you'll get it signed by him, and he has other people signing his signature on the shirts. Concerns have come out about the workplace conditions, and this is I'm kind of trying to go in chronological order, but with all the concerns about the business dealings, there are the concerns about the Ava Chris Tyson controversy, who was a prominent person on the MrBeast channel, that certain Discord discussions have come out of a very troubling nature, of a sexual nature, that Chris Tyson was having with underaged people. And it seems likely that MrBeast was actually a member of this Discord, saw it happening, questions of him being involved with it, already really concerning. And there's concerning stuff about Chris Tyson already, with him transitioning with a very young, impressionable audience, and either supporting, promoting it. By the way, he also left his wife and children to do that, which is pretty scummy as well. And questions or concerns have been raised about MrBeast's character, with the level of is he supporting Chris Tyson in some of these things, especially the dodgy stuff, and involved with that. Like, Chris Tyson has been an open advocate to a really problematic, and this is, I think, an appropriate time of using the problematic term, to a artist who I share an unfortunate name with. Shad he goes by Shad Man. I'm Shad Brooks, of Night's Watch, Shadowverse, and all that stuff. Different people, but the fact I only learned about this guy because of the name similarity in the past, and people sometimes joking, even asking questions so of course no similarity there. But he basically draws CP, or really sexualized images, if not full-on porn, of underage people. Disgusting scumbag, okay? And Chris Tyson openly supported the art. In fact, he had a poster of one of this person's artworks on the wall that appears in MrBeast videos. And the question is that MrBeast, does he know and like Shadman content, right? Not me, Shad, different Shad, right? He certainly saw the poster and has it in multiple videos that he is now trying to scrub and delete and say other controversy. This is a rabbit hole. But I told you, trying to be brief, right? There's a lot to go through. And I have talked about this on the live streams. This is a more dedicated video. And so I have thoughts about what MrBeast might actually, what his character might be in terms of his involvement and tolerance of some very concerning, troubling things, which I'll get to a bit later. But there's no doubt that he knew of the poster, it's been in videos, and so yeah, people are asking, does he like this stuff? Is he involved with it? Does he support it? And so there's that whole, crap storm with the Chris Tyson things, added with the concerns about business dealings, and then even more stuff has come out. He's got a program or show that is doing with Amazon called Beast Games, and really concerning stuff about the conditions on sets, even almost abusive, which seems to coincide with more allegations that's come out of former employees. A former employee did an interview on a channel, I think it's Dogpack, something number channel, about his experience with a MrBeast video challenge that he did, where it was surviving solitary confinement. I haven't been able to speak on that on the live streams yet. We probably will have to discuss it more, but I have thoughts on that as well, because it's essentially torture for entertainment. Like, solitary confinement is a type of torture, okay? And the accusations that this former employee has shared are troubling in the sense that it seems like he was encouraged, if not coerced, to undergo abuse with a kind of like a carrot hanging at the end that he might win money. And he accuses MrBeast of being a sociopath, someone who either doesn't care about the feelings of others, willing to see other people's feelings be taken advantage of, people get abused for their own gain and stuff. I don't know if that's true across the board. I think people who are not sociopaths can do crummy, disgusting, despicable things, often when their own kind of goals, motives, ethics get skewed a bit by small moral concessions after moral concessions, and so on and so forth. So he is calling MrBeast a sociopath for doing these things, and there's even the subtle implication that he wanted this individual to go through this crappy experience as a type of revenge for him quitting in the past. Right? There's no proof of that. But if is it possible? Yes, I think it might be possible. And it reflects very poorly on MrBeast, Jimmy, as an individual. And I think I just called him Jimmy, whatever, going forward, MrBeast. This is all really concerning things, okay? And it seems pretty true that this happened. This individual was put through actual torture and abuse for the sake of getting views. And he was encouraged to go further, be pushed further. He asked for certain conditions to be better, like lights turned off so he could sleep and other things. And there are concerns about, is he just attacking MrBeast for his own, benefit? He is trying to grow his own channel. Doesn't discount the troubling nature of what happened with that production. And it's tied in with a document that's been leaked about the MrBeast business attitude, where in one of the segments of this document, they have a saying which is, no doesn't always mean no. It's clear in the context that this is about trying to get access to locations, shops, business associations or collaborations in which people might be reluctant, and it's like a sales tactic where you keep pushing to get what you want. The thing is, though, that mentality, that philosophy, no doesn't always mean no, does seem to have been carried over with how they treat people in their videos and challenges, pushing people beyond their comfort zone, what even might be considered legal, for the sake of the content. that philosophy does seem to be consistent both with the example that the former employee is sharing and with what's been happening on the Beast games with Amazon, where the goal is to get the content, the footage, pushing people far further than what they are comfortable with. And the accusations about the Beast games, like people being denied changes of clothes, medication, not being fed enough food while on set. Some accusations that this might not be the Beast games, but with other kind of content, is that people were promised getting a certain cash reward prize, and they are filmed being given it. And then after the cameras leave, the money's taken away. It's like, no, we'll wire it to you officially, or it needs to come through more official means, and then people not actually getting paid. All dodgy, right? So this is me trying to summarize the stuff that's come out, because there's even more. This is wild. All of this is crazy. And I have thoughts to share after I go through it all. Okay, so the next thing is the accusations and concerns regarding an individual named Delaware. He was called Delaware on videos. There's even footage of MrBeast calling him Delaware. Why is that significant? Because it's in relation... Well, they claim it's in relation to crimes this individual has committed in the past or convicted of or whatnot. His brother-in-law has come out with a statement saying that the Delaware name isn't ascribed for it. So what this is involved and concerning is that this individual is on the sex offender registry for having done something with a minor being 11 years old or younger, which is holy crap. And I think the accusation is like statutory rape or something as serious. This is significantly serious. It's been accused of the R word. The context is that the individual was 15 years old at the time, or 16, I forget the exact age, but that doesn't excuse what happened. All right. And but that's the context, that he was much younger, a minor himself, but is still older than the victim. In regards to this, I think there's still information that needs to come out. Context needs to be given, okay? We haven't heard both sides. So I need to withhold my full, concerns and judgments about this until we get the full picture. I still have concerns. I won't go full scorched earth yet until we get the full picture, is I guess what I'm saying. But some of my concerns is that the claim is that Jimmy, MrBeast, knew about this guy's rap sheet, like that they even discussed it before he was employed, and that Jimmy knowingly employed him even with him being on the sex offender registry. This does raise questions about rehabilitation, stuff like that, but I think a base standard you would assume would be, even if someone claims to be rehabilitated, claims that the charges might even be false, and they just because they say he pled guilty to avoid something. Was it jail time or further issues or anything like that? Didn't actually go to court. Does he claim innocence? I don't know. And I do believe there are false accusations. Okay, Me Too really caused the false accusation thing to go pretty extreme, and there are many times people's lives have been ruined by men being falsely accused of the R word. I don't know if any of that context applies. That's why I'm saying I think we need more context. But wouldn't a base standard be that even if there might be questions, and I don't know if there are, about the legitimacy of the accusation, the fact that he's on the registry, that you probably shouldn't hire him in a business that has connection or an audience of minors and children. I think that would be pretty base standard. And it seems like Jimmy hired this individual knowing about his past anyway. Right? And that was like, hang on a second. That is some really concerning and serious stuff happening here. How much did Jimmy MrBeast know about it? How much is he okay with certain things? And this is where we're at. They are claiming that further problematic accusations will come out soon about potential cover-ups of sexual assault on business, either in videos or behind the scenes or whatever, but it's involved with him, and that Jimmy has been knowingly covering up some really bad behaviour. We will find out about it in the future. But that's the attempted brief summary of so much of what's been going on with the MrBeast controversy. Wow. So now that we're here, I have some further concerns, thoughts, commentary on the whole situation. And it comes from, I guess you could call it intuition, but it raises some suspicion. Clips have come out about, clips have come out of MrBeast Jimmy in the past, of him being a bit of an edgy boy with his friends. Chris Tyson's in there, they're making jokes about, identifying as an attack helicopter, making fun of trans identity and things, and they're being very edgy with each other. And it's kind of clear that his relationship with his mates in the past were kind of dude bro-ish, like joking around, goofing around kind of stuff. And they made videos doing that. A lot of the early content is just doing dumb things. I've never really been a fan of MrBeast content at any point. And I've only ever watched his videos out of academic interest to see what's going on. Is it really enjoyable? And for kids, I can see them enjoying it. My kids have watched one or two MrBeast videos in the past, enjoying the content, before I ban them off YouTube because too much junk is on YouTube, including MrBeast stuff, because in the past I saw it as harmless enough, yet it's not building, or they're not learning anything positive, they're not getting positive role models. Like watching a good cartoon like Batman animated series or something like that, there is actually good stuff that they will learn from it about, traditional values, heroism, and all that good stuff. And so I curate what my kids watch now. And so the content that MrBeast made, I didn't really see any value in. And when you go back, it is him and his mates just doing dumb things like they're in a prison for however long time, lower scale than the stuff he does now, where he's throwing lots of money into it. But very stuffing around with his friends. Why do I bring that up? He seems like the person who hung around with people of similar personality and or character. Is that unfair of me to say? I don't think so. Especially when you see him interacting, they have this kind of more extroverted, goofing around, dude bro kind of interaction. And generally speaking, I know there's plenty of exceptions to this, but generally speaking, people gravitate towards other people of certain dispositions or attitudes or perspectives of similarity. Growing up, I usually gravitated towards hanging out with other nerds. We could be very different in some temperaments and other things, but usually there was a couple of things that connected us, okay? It's how friendships and groups usually form. And they're usually aware of each other's preferences and other things. And this is why, if I was to give my perspective at the moment, and that could change with future evidence, right? I get the feeling that Jimmy has been taking part in certain behaviors that his friends have been taking part in that are of a more problematic nature, because I have a feeling that he probably has had, conversations of a positive nature in regards to, the problematic artist and the artists of the stuff that they make and liking that type of stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if he actually got involved in that far more than what is coming out publicly because of the friends that he connected with. Like the fact that he hired this individual that goes by Delaware. I mentioned that the Delaware name, right? Two claims. One is that he's called Delaware because he is not allowed to go back to Delaware because of this crime or conviction or thing on his sheet, when others are saying he is called Delaware simply because that's where he's from. Don't know then, do we? If he was called Delaware because of what he has done in the past of a criminal nature, there is video footage of Jimmy, MrBeast, calling him by Delaware name. Also, when Delaware appears in videos, why is he wearing a mask in an attempt to hide this individual's identity in videos? That's really suspicious. It feels like that's the type of stuff that gives you the impression that Jimmy knew about who this individual was, hence why were they getting him to wear a mask in the videos? Was it that he just didn't... We don't know the full picture yet. Maybe Jimmy didn't know, but Delaware did, and he didn't want anyone to see his face, and so it was him insisting that he wear the mask, That's why I say we need a bit more information. But even with the information that we have, it's not to say that there aren't some really concerning things that's been going on. That does not cast a positive view on the individual MrBeast. My own impression is that I think he must have known about some of this problematic stuff. Their friendship relationship in the past seemed very open in the sense of joking about things, even things of a problematic nature, which does make me feel like he might have more involvement with it. It seemed like that was, his nature. He's hanging around people that joke around the same similar stuff. He was joking about that type of stuff. So it gives me that impression. In fact, it feels like Jimmy is the type of a classic example of a person that his success grew far too big too quickly before he could learn about the best way to behave and so on, and all these PR things, all this information coming out in the past, how to handle a business, treat other people who are working for you in a much better way, because the process of events seems like he's joking around with his friends, and his friends are willing to do things that are perhaps a bit more extreme because they're mates. And I kind of understand that, because even growing up, when you're just immature lads, you joke about stuff, and you're punching each other in the leg to try and give each other dead legs and all that stuff. So many things happen in a friend type of relationship and environment that are extremely inappropriate in a work environment, even illegal. In a friend environment, you're doing things that would literally be considered physical assault in a work environment at times, right? And if you disagree, you probably haven't hung around in a very boys be boys type of friendship growing up, but heaps of boys doing that, making off-color jokes and all that stuff. And it seems like the original core of his content was doing that kind of stuff tangentially with his mates, stuffing around and being stupid. And then it started to grow into a business, and it's built on that type of interaction and behavior. And as new people come in, I get the impression that his mentality was just, we're mates having fun. Get on board, come on. Why aren't you doing the more, extreme stuff that the other people have been willing to do? And you see the slippery slope that can kind of happen, and then he starts to grow big. Too big before he realizes that maybe some of this stuff isn't very appropriate in a business environment. And by the way, with everything that we mentioned, boy, I forgot to mention the cover-up stuff, the deleting comments and the claims he has that his most recent video hasn't had nearly as many dislikes as what the extension shares, and what really should be, because people have tracked the amount of comments that are being deleted, right? And these are comments of a negative, accusatory, critical nature. The amount of comments that are deleted, I can't remember. Upper Echelon Gaming has been covering this stuff really well, so I do recommend those videos. And from memory, from upper echelon is that the amount of comments that were deleted are of a higher number than the dislikes currently on the video. And that's like insanity. No, you're not telling me that the dislikes are of a lower amount than the negative comments. Anyone who leaves a negative comment is going to be disliking. In fact, the ratio that I've seen on YouTube in my experience, and I've been on for 9-10 years now making content. I have a channel over 1 million subscribers. I've been able to see how things behave and the trends of how videos track. Usually the dislike rate is 10 dislikes to every 1 negative comment. If I'm saying if that might actually be more than that, right? And so the claim that MrBeast says is that this most recent video has a lower dislike percentage than the average of his channel feels like complete bull. Absolutely fictitious lie. How could that be explained? YouTube might actually have been deleting negative downvotes to give him the analytics. Like I wouldn't put it past YouTube to protect their golden boy to that level. Or someone on the MrBeast team is actively just lying through their teeth. Jimmy is lying through his teeth, right? Something dishonest has happened along the way with that, which also reflects very poorly on him as an individual. So I just wanted to, there's that as well to throw into the mix. And so these are currently my primary thoughts, that there are some really sus stuff that seems to be happening behind the scenes. And in terms of his personality and character, these negative things that are coming out now, for me, seems to fit together with the type of behavior that he was part of in the past with the way that he made content. And so I am more inclined to think that there's might be some merit to some of this stuff. Beyond the stuff that we have pretty solid evidence for already, the the abuses that might happen on set with the content that they've been making, the illegal lotteries, and the manipulation tactics that are used. That's all pretty much confirmed. And then there are further stuff that more evidence coming out that I am starting to be inclined to think that there's merit to. This is big in the sense that it might affect the entire platform because MrBeast is such a large creator. I don't think it would damage YouTube, to the point of, it'll be such a catastrophe. It could do some damage. Part of me thinks that if MrBeast starts to get actual, negative consequences in this term, in the sense of getting less views or whatnot and everything like that, that some of that artificial boosting that he gets might be returned to other creators, content that actually deserves it based on views, click-through rates and things. Because I do find if people want content to watch on YouTube, and the CEO has already mentioned that there is content that people actively want to watch that they do suppress. It would be nice if that content gets some of the recommendations it deserves again. Don't know if that will be the case going forward. Is MrBeast too large to fail at this point? Don't know. It depends how serious stuff really gets. If there is sexual misconduct stuff that ties to him more closely. At the moment, there are just concerns, accusations, things that probably need more proof. People are starting to disassociate with him, though, especially with the Delaware stuff that's more recently come out. My impression of him is that I don't think is a good dude. I think he actually has been posing more. Even his charitable work always seems to be in the service of him gaining more. Okay, that he gains more than any of the charity he gives out. It's a business. It's intended to make more money and to make him look good, when he actually might not be the best individual. He might actually be kind of a crummy guy behind the scenes, willing to push people beyond what they're comfortable with, even commit certain abuses for the sake of success. And then he might actually be involved with the more problematic stuff. Like I said, we need evidence for that. So this has been a wild thing to pay attention to and follow so far. We're yet to see what will happen in the future, but as I've explained, I think there might be some more merit to some of this stuff for the reasons I've gone through. What do you guys think? Do you think that there should be more benefit of the doubt given with all this stuff that's been going on? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them, and I will be covering this stuff. I'll discuss this more with Literature Devil, Mike, and perhaps some more people on the Night's Watch live stream, so I hope to see you there as well. And as always, stay on watch.